When you're struggling with your mental health, the world can seem pretty heavy, like no one understands what you're feeling or you're not sure how to ask for help. But here's the real truth. You're never in this alone. 988 Lifeline's trained crisis counselors are available 24/7 to offer the help and support you need to make it through. No judgment, no stigma, just someone to listen. Text or call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, day or night. 988. Hope has a new number.
Colombia!
Yay.
Jessica, Juan, morning sickness. This is a lot for Juan, all at once. Poor guy was on a cruise a few weeks ago, shaking up pina coladas, and now he is staring down the toilet while his fiancé barfs up. I mean, Dawson was probably barfing up his eggs and cereal with milk too, so the whole family was probably barfing. They just couldn't take that breakfast.
I honestly don't think that. How is this going to work? Because I keep going back to the fact that she lives in the smallest, most American town in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. And listen, I love Wyoming, but let's say she doesn't have kids and they could move elsewhere with the baby. They could live in Miami. They could live somewhere that he would feel a little more comfortable, right? I would be like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I cannot see this.
I can't see it either. I hope it happens for the sake of the kids. But what we're dealing with right now is a lot for old Juan or young Juan to wrap his head around. It's morning sickness. It's pregnancy. We also learn some sad news that Jessica dealt with what she thought was a miscarriage.
Yes, but it wasn't.
Fortunately, it was not.
Yeah. And we get this weird scene of Jessica lying in bed, Juan's there for her, petting her, and there's Megan sitting on the other side. She's just sitting there.
This is Seeking Sister Wives next season, I feel like.
All right, I'm going to say something about Megan.
Please do.
She looks very European.
Ooh.
She looks, I swear.
Maybe that's why I'm attracted to her.
Really? Well,
No,
she's very pretty.
She's very attractive.
I have a friend who looks like Megan.
Who? Do I know?
No, she lives in Finland.
Okay. So are you saying Megan with an I looks Finnish?
No. It's a Czech friend, but she lives in Finland.
Okay.
I think she moved there like a year or two ago.
That's interesting.
They look the same.
I didn't pick up on a European vibe, but I picked up on she's very beautiful.
Yeah. No, if you told me that she's European, I would be like, absolutely. Very, very Euro.
Okay. So, all right, here's the deal. Here's what's going on. Obviously, Jessica's pregnant. She is due to deliver in several months, but she's got a history of delivering early, so that's a possibility. All that to say, Juan might not be there for the birth of his son.
No, but I think they can apply. If you get a lawyer and you can apply for some sort of a visa or something that he can come for the birth, I'm sure there must be a loophole for a situation like this.
I looked very quickly. It was very hard to parse through all the results because it was mostly results about women can't come to America to give birth and have an anchor baby. Like it was a lot of that. But I put in, can a father get a visa for his American wife if she's giving birth to his child? And nothing really came up about loopholes or what. So I believe you got to go the standard route. And right now, especially with COVID and all the backups, it's not easy.
Not easy. Well, there are certain countries have a deal with the US that you have basically you don't need visa. You just apply online, pay $12, and you get your visa for 90 days. No interviews, nothing. Czech Republic is one of the countries. So when my parents come, you apply online and you get your visa within 24 hours in your email.
Interesting.
And it's valid for 90 days. And then if you want to come again, you just reapply, pay another $12.
Okay.
But it's because of the relationship the countries have. It's most of European countries that are in the EU. And there are others, I think, but I don't want to list it. I don't think Colombia is one of them. I very, very seriously doubt it. But with the visa backup, it's probably not going to be easy for them. However, I still think lawyers can potentially do some magic.
I hope so. Especially because Juan feels like he's being set up to fail by not being there from the start. And I can't even imagine It's one thing to miss the birth of your child by a few hours because you're stuck somewhere, you were traveling on business, but to miss weeks or potentially months of the first days and weeks of that child's life, that's got to be so tough.
I mean, how many 90-dayers been through it? So many. Kobe and Coben?
Yeah, I mean, you see how that turned out.
Well, they're doing great.
Well, yes, but Emily felt this controlling nature because
Well, that's
I
just
was
her
here.
personality.
It's her personality mixed with the circumstance of I was here, you were not. So I created all of these customs and norms for the way I'm going to raise this child. And you have no say because you're not here, no fault of your own. But then things just become routine. And how do you double dutch your way into that?
Well, they're good now. There's
Are
the
they?
part of me that I get it. Yeah, I see like sweet photos and all that.
I think I
The
unfollowed
kids
them.
look big.
Well, good for them.
What are you talking about? We do follow them.
All right, we follow them.
John doesn't even know because he's not the social media president. It's me.
Yes, that is correct. All right. So later in the day, they're in this resort style pool. And very rarely, if ever, have I been jealous of a 90-day fiance couple. I'm jealous of this house.
Of
Give
the
me
house.
Give me a week at this house.
We can rent a house like this when the parents are coming down to Florida.
That's true.
It's probably going to be more expensive,
That's true.
but we're going to treat the parents. Am I right?
All right. Let's look into it. I mean, this just looks like
I found a few houses that
not like this.
Not
It
with
didn't
the-
have water features in the pool.
not with the backyard and all that, but like a
Yeah.
decent pools.
It had a pool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll quit my whining. So everyone's in the pool.
This guy, am I right?
Juan's playing dad. He's having fun with the kids. It's nice. He's doing what he needs to do, I think.
Yeah, for a week, it's fun.
It's fun for a week.
It's the same thing as, well,
Say it. Because I think you're right.
when we hang out with our nieces.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. I love our nieces. That's
I
not
do.
what I wasn't going to say at all.
I do too, but we see them for a few days out of the year.
Sure.
Imagine doing this.
Those girls are exhausting, Rachel.
Exactly. Guys, we were with them for an hour and John sat down on the couch. He's like, I can't do this anymore.
What are you talking
After
about?
it, you said they're exhausting and you took a nap.
They're a lot. They're
You didn't take a nap.
They need well, they probably don't. I'm such a worrier that I feel like they need constant supervision.
Well,
And
your
I'm just
mom
like-
was there too, but
I'm just like glued to them, and it's an emotionally draining thing. It's not physically draining to sit there and watch the kid play, but I'm worried something's going to happen. I don't want to be responsible if something goes wrong.
and when I was no pair, that was my job.
I can't.
I was glued to them, but at least I was getting
I
paid.
can't. Yeah.
Well, here's what I did. I built a friendship with them and they started respecting me. So life got a little easier eventually.
Here's-
But when it's your kid, it's different. I don't have a kid. I can't imagine. But I know it's a lot. Look at these two freaking guys. They're a lot.
Here's
It's
what I was
gonna
going
be
to
a
say,
lot.
which is what I thought you were going to say, but you didn't. When these 90 days or any couple goes on vacation, everything is hunky-dory. Everything is great. It's vacation mode. And sort of the same applies, I would imagine, for parenting in this situation. He knows, this is for a week. I get to go back on the boat. We're having fun. There's this beautiful house. So like, yes, he's parenting, but it's still vacation parenting where everyone's having fun. Everyone's in
Yeah.
good spirits except for Dawson because he doesn't like eggs.
No, you're right. And on a vacation, the kids, they go to bed late, they wake up late, there is no routine, right?
Yeah.
You want all the cereals, all the donuts for breakfast? Sure, YOLO, be in a sugar coma. But when you have to go to school, you have to wake up, you're in a routine, you have to go to work, you have to drive them to a soccer practice, you have to do all these things. Like, that's going to become very different.
Yeah, that's the reality. So while Juan is playing dad and doing a good job of it, he's pushing him on the swings and stuff. He was enjoying himself. Jessica and Megan take some time to talk one-on-one. And this is where we get some dirt.
Some dirty dirt.
I'm like, we're surprised by this.
I'm not.
I'm not surprised by this. But basically, Megan and Juan, relationship hasn't always been great between them because she's the best friend and she's got to be there and protect Jessica. And what we learned is Juan, a few months ago, I guess, got involved to a certain extent with one of the passengers aboard the Royal Caribbean.
Here is when it doesn't add up. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for you to start doing the math.
All right. So this woman who Jessica doesn't know messaged her on social media saying, hey, like I hooked up with Juan. And then Juan said that, oh, nothing happened. I was just flirting with her, but I was leading her on that I didn't tell her about you.
Boom.
So how did she find out?
Exactly.
Unless he has her on social media. She followed him on social media somehow and then saw that, oh, there is a girl.
Okay, I like that.
And she became a hoe for the show. And she messaged Jessica because she wanted to stir the pot. Maybe because she felt rejected. Or maybe because she felt like, all right, we did hook up and let me stir the pot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't checked out really anyone's social media on Love in Paradise yet.
Me neither, but I'm just speculating.
But I'm sure at this point they're on each other's socials. And maybe back then they were too. And so I think with enough information, you can find Juan's social media and then you see, oh, who's this girl? And so let's go with that. She did find it and she reached out. Yeah, then the question is, what really happened? Was it innocent flirting? It's innocent if he's behind the bar. The minute he leaves the bar, the minute they're at the casino together, the minute they're doing trips to the buffet together, that's no longer innocent.
Yeah, and I get it. Bartenders must flirt. I understand, especially
bartender. Really? That's news to me because never once has a bartender flirted with me. Except when we went to that gay bar with Maddie and Poodle.
I was just going to say
Shout out to that. But every time I go to a bar, I'm like doing jumping jacks to try to get someone to notice me.
Because you always go to the bar with me.
Yeah.
And so
if it's their job, it doesn't matter who I'm with. Flirt with me. You'll get a bigger tip.
Guys are not going to flirt with you unless we go to a gay bar like we did. Mm-hmm. And girls are not going to flirt with you because you have a wedding band on.
Well, I take that off at the bar.
What?
I'm trying to get service.
Are you thinking How I Met Your Mother?
Why? What's that storyline?
And then when Robin got engaged to Barney and all of a sudden no one wanted to serve her at the bar because she had the engagement ring. And then she took it off. Everyone was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Literally no one in the history of bartending has ever flirted with me. But I think it's probably the other way. I think the guys flirt with the women.
Before I met you, every single time I'm to a bar with a girlfriend or something, they always flirt.
I think the guys do.
Flirt.
Hell yeah. I think the guys flirt.
And the girls do too because they want tips. But if you went
they
to
don't
a bar,
have to flirt to get the tips.
If you went to a bar with a bunch of dudes and she was like a good looking girl, she's going to flirt because she see a bunch of guys and she's gonna put it out there.
All right.
And honestly, it's their job. As long as it stays with flirting and getting some tips, sure, I'll get it. But don't, as you said, don't cross the bar.
Yeah.
And I think he did.
I think he did.
He looks like someone who would just stick his peanuts elsewhere.
At the very least, they shared a cocktail off hours on the balcony of Princess of the Seas.
Yes.
But Jessica had a trip to go out and see him very shortly after she found out this news. So she went, he cried, and then she forgave him.
Yes. And that was also the trip where she got pregnant.
Right.
So it was like, oh, I'll forgive you for almost cheating on me. Oh, and here comes a new baby.
If Jessica can trust Juan moving forward, she's the most trustworthy person on 90 Day Fiancé. In his line of work, for him to be able to go back on the boat
for 6 months.
For 6 months and her be able to trust him, that's a very trusting lady.
Think he may because she's pregnant. I think like the pregnancy changes things because now he's going to feel like a dad.
Yeah.
But if she wasn't pregnant, I don't see that.
Well, that's a good point. And if you think about it, a lot changes from what I've heard in women's minds once they're engaged. Oh, now I trust my husband a little bit more. Now we can go out with his friends because he put a ring on it. Just that symbol of the ring or
really?
Of the proposal gives guys a lot more rope. And so I can only imagine that putting a baby in someone does the same tenfold. Oh, well, he's the father of my child, of course. Of course he's going to be respectful.
I've always trusted you the same.
But I've never given you a reason not to.
True, same
Juan
here.
has apparently given her a reason not to.
Same here. The only thing I don't like when John and I, we are notorious for not wearing our rings around the house, which is fun. Like we do all kinds of things, but then sometimes we forget to put them on when we go out. And I hate when we go out and only one of us is wearing the ring. Because
like
then
it.
I almost feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm here with my male mistress.
I'm role playing the entire time we're at the supermarket.
Yeah, we go to Costco and I'm like, should I take my rings off so it doesn't look weird? It looks like I'm shopping here with my lover.
Well, yeah, allow me to have a fantasy once in a while.
And the other way around. Sometimes you wear your ring and I don't, and I'm the mistress.
Oh, hello.
Oh, this is how we keep it spicy.
Exactly.